to order. Jessica, you ready?
Y'all have minutes first.
Okay. Okay, let's review the minutes of the previous meeting. Anyone have a motion to approve the minutes?
I'll make a motion.
Got a motion? You have a second?
I'll second that.
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion? There being none. All in favor of approving the minutes as stated for February the 3rd, 2025, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. The ayes have it, passes unanimously.
I don't know if you'd like it, it's unsweet.
Oh, well, that's what I do.
So your next item is agenda item 3A, discuss and consider a COA for property located at 2703 North Pecan Street. The applicant, John and Amanda Denby, are requesting to do 3 items to the exterior of their home. One is to replace the exterior siding. It's currently shingle siding, and they're wanting to go with one of those cement lap sidings. Most people call it hardy plank, even though that's kind of a brand name, but that style siding. The intent is to change the facade back to something more period appropriate. This house is listed as built in 1938. You can tell there's probably some renovation done in the 60s or 70s because some of the changes very much look like that time period. They're also wanting to replace windows with white single hung vinyl windows matching the same size and divisions as the current windows, and then replacing the front porch supports and railings from a metal to a more period appropriate wood supports and railings. This is similar to some of their surrounding homes. This is not in a historic district, but rather individually designated. There are about 3 homes around there that are also individually designated, and this would have this home looking closer to those, which is more time period appropriate. Staff find that C, B, D, F, and J of your ordinance relate to this, and we do have a few photos. This is the current exterior of the home. You can see the siding, and also as a note, siding from this time frame, probably 1960s to 1970s, usually has a lot of asbestos. So the applicant is intending on removing all of it rather than abating certain areas and then replacing it with that hardy plank siding. Also, you can see a window example would match the current one with the 6/6, and then a siding example as well. And these are some examples that the applicant supplied with what the siding would look like on that bottom left and then what the porch could look like on the top right. The applicant is here if you have any questions of him, and I'm happy to answer any as well.
It's a big improvement, isn't it? Any questions of the applicant?
So it is asbestos siding?
It is likely.
Yeah, we've not had it tested.
Okay.
And from our records and estimates, it's probably 1960s, 1970s siding, which is very likely to have asbestos.
Okay.
So you mentioned switching the siding and those metal posts on the porch. Do we know what it looked like originally or before the current?
I would love to know.
Okay.
Our aim is to make it more historic specific, but with some modern amenities, like there's no insulation on the walls, not a stitch.
Tell me about it.
So when that siding is removed, we actually have a quote for them to do a saw hole and blow in some insulation so we have some. Same benefit of trying to do with the windows so that we have some efficiency. You definitely feel a draft. But we do always wanted to live in a historic home, and when we bought it, we did not know that it was a historic home until we got a letter in the mail. Like the history of Nacogdoches. We'd love to get closer there, but with the modern amenities.
And I will mention from the staff side, this is one that was put individually under historic overlay. For some reason, there weren't any photographs submitted with it, not a lot of research, and so from the staff side of things and the city side of things, we don't have any photographs other than what we can get off Google Maps and things like that dating back to mid-2000s onward.
Is this designated historical by the Historical Commission?
So it's individually designated as part of a historic overlay. It's not like Washington Square or the downtown district. It's one of those properties that's individual and not within a district.
Okay.
It was designated as historic. I'd have to look at the exact date, but I think it was somewhere around 2010, 15, somewhere in there. And it's one of those kind of standalone. There are about 3 or 4 properties around it that aren't directly adjacent, but, within a few streets.
Okay. I was just wondering if the renovations would affect the standing with the State Historical Commission.
No, so the historic designation it has now is one of our local designations.
Okay,
That
okay.
requires the owner and applicant to come before y'all.
Okay.
But doesn't go on to the state.
Oh, okay, okay, that's what I was wondering, because they can be pretty picky sometimes from what I've heard.
Yeah, especially if you have a recorded Texas historic landmark.
Right.
If you're a National Register individual property, things like that can affect your standing. If it's
Okay.
at our local level, and for argument's sake, all of these changes would be much more historic than what is currently there. So it's not going to hurt
Okay.
anything on that level.
Okay, okay, good.
Okay, we have a motion to approve, or
You do not have a motion yet.
have a motion?
I make a motion.
We have a motion to approve. We have a second?
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? There being no discussion, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Ayes have it.
I look forward to seeing it when you get the work done.
Middle of the year.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, our next item is 3B, discuss and consider a COA for a property located 816 Jean Street. This property, before we get started, I will mention if you drove past, this property was the subject of an ongoing demolition by neglect case. Since that case started, it's been sold. It's under a new owner now, who's doing their due diligence and trying to fully restore the building. So this building at 816 Jean is owned by Sarah Monday. It's a 1920s to 1930s one-story wood frame house in the Zion Hill district. Not in the greatest condition right now, but they are working on getting it habitable, fully restored, and it'll look beautiful once finished. So they're requesting to do 3 items. One is install dual pane vinyl windows, similar to the size of the existing window openings. Currently, I believe there are no actual windows in the building, just openings that are covered in plywood. So this would be similar size, but we don't know what pane dimensions were on there. They can look for the most historically accurate and put those there. But they're requesting dual pane vinyl windows, installation of doors to match the existing doors. There are 2 doors on the front of the building. I do believe their intent is to remove those because they're rotten, but then to replace them with a style that would match. And then also replacement of existing roof shingle siding with a cement board or a hardy plank. Right now, the siding on there is kind of ramshackle. It seems to be roof siding. There's some tin on some buildings down there, and so none of it was intended as actual siding to the building. Staff finds that B, C, D, E, F, G, J, and K in your ordinance relate to this. And I failed to write in here. The applicant also requested to paint the outside of the building because currently it's not painted really. They did submit a color, which would be a blue exterior with white trim. I have the paint swatches if y'all would like to see those. And we do have some pictures of the building itself. You can see here I've kind of circled all of the windows. So right now we're just boarded up with plywood. You can see on the top left picture there are doors there which will be replaced. And then same thing on the back of the building. The door opening is just plywood right now. So that would be to put a door there. Also, the siding on the building you can see in many places is completely missing, is starting to rot off. A lot of it is kind of ramshackle that's just put, anytime siding fell off, they replaced it with whatever material they had. So they are requesting to put that plank hardy board all along the sides. And I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
Yeah, it says replace existing exterior roof shingles siding?
Yes.
Is this the roof or the side on
It's-
the walls?
It's the siding on the walls that right now it is roof shingles
Yes.
being used as siding.
And so
So
will
it's replacing the siding around the house.
will it be, okay,
And on this, and I should have mentioned this earlier, so the applicant also requested a few other things in this application that we administratively approved. One was to take off the metal roof and put a matching metal roof to match exactly. So the roof itself will be done, since they were doing like for like, no change of color or materials or anything like that. That was administratively approved. And then this is replacing the roof shingles that are being used as siding with actual
Okay.
siding.
Got it.
So it'll still be a metal roof?
Yes, sir. Yes, it'll be exactly the same as it is now, just new and not leaking.
It's quite an undertaking, isn't it?
It is.
And I will mention the same owner has also done a similar project at 819 Jean Street and has made a lot of progress on that one. And that came before y'all, I believe, about a year ago, a year to a year and a half ago.
remember it.
So they've done good work on that property and are now doing the same on this next door property.
But, by the way, do any like changing, like plumbing and all that stuff, will that be inspected by the city?
Yes, so to get any kind of plumbing installed, they would have to get an inspection by the city. It doesn't come through this committee just because it's interior, but to restore utilities to it, electrical, any kind of framework on the inside, that would have to go through the city as well.
Some of those homes out there have a little add-on for the water heater. It's outside the building,
Okay.
that kind of thing. So all of that would be, have to be approved.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
That's a huge undertaking.
It is. And I'm very thankful that these properties have a new owner, and that these buildings are salvageable because I believe they're a few years from not being salvageable anymore.
Or one good strong wind.
Yeah, a good strong wind, any of the storms that may be blowing in this evening. So the owner is doing their due diligence and trying to get these buildings fully restored.
We have a motion to approve COA 2025-002.
I make a motion to approve it.
We have a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
A second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? There being none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Ayes have it.
Last item today is agenda item 3C. This is 2025-003 for a COA at 520 East Pillar Street. The applicant is requesting to install a 10-foot by 20-foot wooden storage shed at the southwest corner of the backyard. This property is an 1890 1.5-story wood frame house in the Sternthia district. And the property also won a Historic Preservation Award through HLPC in 2010. So they are requesting to install this freestanding building. It would be wood siding with a shingle roof, and would not be attached to the house in any way. I will mention this is a similar setup to 3 other houses surrounding that one, that have a home, a shed or storage area in the backyard that's not connected, and is freestanding and painted to match. The applicant did mention that their intent is to paint the house and the shed the same color. That will probably come later this year. So as of right now, if the shed goes in tomorrow, it will not match, but would later on this summer when they do a full repaint on the project, or on the property, excuse me.
Jessica, is it the same architectural materials?
So yeah, the building itself is a wood, house, and then the shed would be the same thing as far as with a composite roof. So they would match in materials. And staff find that B, D, J, and K relate to this, request. You can see here, this is the exterior of the property. Right now, they're doing some interior renovation, so there's a dumpster out there right now, and the red X at the back right corner is approximately where the shed would go. And really, one of the only ways you can see this shed is if you are driving down East Pillar Street. It'll be kind of in that back right corner, which honestly is only really visible in the winter months when all of the greenery is gone off those trees. And this is the proposed shed. Again, freestanding, would be wood siding with a composite roof similar to the home. I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
No questions? Anyone entertain a motion to approve COA 2025-003?
I move that we approve.
Have a motion to approve. Do you have a second?
I seconded.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? There being none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Ayes have it. Unanimously approved.
That was your last item item of the day, and our next meeting is scheduled for Monday, April 7th at 4 p.m.
I want to officially say that I think I went to the wrong truck. I came out of the bank and went to a white vehicle and pecked it on the window, and Jeff wasn't there. And I thought, how am I gonna, did he take my keys with him when he left?
We almost sent out a search
And
party.
and I couldn't call you because my phone's in the truck. So Jessica tried to call you and there was no answer.
Have we adjourned?
Yeah.
No, I want this to be